So for the music industry, how I got into that, I started hanging out at this nightclub slash bar that originally was called Gumby's. It was like an alternative type hangout in the college town of Huntington, West Virginia. And they would have local bands as well as regional bands in there, and they were all like rock bands or alternative college type music, I guess you could say. But that bar went out of business and became what's called the Drop Shop. And the Drop Shop was similar but a little bit more upscale, whereas the Gumby's was kind of grungy and dark. Drop Shop was a little bit more well lit and catered to a little bit different crowd, still an alternative type crowd, but for some reason that went out of business and it became what's called Gyrations. And I ended up, because it had changed into a different bar, I went there to check it out, and the format they had was DJs up in this elevated booth up these flight of stairs, and this booth overlooked the dance floor. So they started having DJs, and there was a house DJ, and I sat down in the audience and listened. It wasn't busy at that time. It was just me and a couple other people perhaps. It was early in the night, so I went up to the booth, probably 15-20 stairs. This booth, knocked on the door, poked my head in, and I don't know if I requested something or whatever, but started talking to the DJ, and he's invited me just to hang out in the booth with him and talk while he's mixing house records. And so I hung out there and talked to him, and I started asking questions, right? And how do you do that? What are you doing there? So he would start telling me about how to DJ with my leading questions that I asked him about what he's doing with vinyl records. That's what he was using there, and 2 turntables and a mixer. So he started showing me things, and I started hanging out there more and more, and then he let me try my hand at mixing and gave me pointers while he was letting me try out mixing. And so there was another DJ there as well, and his name's Brett Fuller, or Charlie Brown Superstar. So they were trying to get the new club up and going, right, with more and more customers and attract more people. So he also was teaching me about DJing, and I picked it up and started learning how to mix, why to mix, mixing in key and phrasing, how to DJ. So I started doing that, and then I bought a home DJ system, and it was just a CD mixer. So you could have, just like vinyl record players, you could have CDs. So I started practicing hour upon hour at home until I figured it all out. And they had, on Wednesday nights, they had what was called Novice Night. And these are for DJs like myself who are new DJs and wanted to spin for a crowd. It was an unpaid gig, but there would be 3 or 4 people show up for that. They'd say, you play from this time to this time, you usually get an hour set. So that gave me a little feel for crowds and such, and I started playing there more often, especially on Wednesday nights, and then that became Thursday, Friday. I can't remember exactly when they asked me to DJ on the weekend, but it was soon thereafter, not too far down the road. So that was not a paying gig still, but then what happened was